What's good, young adventurers of the SilverBlu podcast? We are so very thankful to have you back. Welcome to the final episode of season one. Finally, you have
I
made it.
can't believe it. It's already final episode of season one.
That's
It went
crazy.
by so fast.
Yeah, it feels like boom, like we just got here. Like it started yesterday. It feels like
It proves that time is relative.
time is irrelevant. Huh? Nah, I'm just kidding. So yeah, it's a pleasure to have you guys here today. We're gonna wrap this season up with another interview, actually, starting
Mhm.
just well, we're kind of wrapping it up the way we started it, is what I meant to say. So yeah, let's get into it. I'm gonna ask Sylvia some questions, and she's gonna ask me some, and we're just gonna see how this goes. And I would like to point out the fact that we kind of didn't know what the hell we were gonna do today, so we asked ChatGPT. And
Mhm.
yeah, we got some good questions from that. So I don't know what she's gonna ask, and she doesn't know what I'm gonna ask. We're just gonna go along and
Only
see what happens.
ChatGPT knows.
Absolutely. All right. So you want to go first, or how do you
Okay,
want?
so we're doing one on one.
Yeah,
So
let's
I
do
ask
one on
you
one.
one and then. Okay, so the first question that I have, or actually ChatGPT has for you, is what has been the most profound lesson or realization you've experienced through season one of SilverBlu, and how has it impacted your personal journey?
What has been the most profound realization?
Profound lesson or realization you've experienced through season one of Blue Jay, and how has it impacted your personal journey? ChatGPT has some deep questions.
It does have some deep ass questions. Let me think. Uh, wow. The most profound. Wow. Let me think. I guess I would probably say. I don't know, because we covered a lot in this season, actually.
We've talked about a lot of things, and there's so many moments that come to my mind.
Yeah, like
Different,
yeah,
like, but like, just go for one of them, I guess.
one of the
Or
biggest ones.
yeah,
I think it was something you mentioned in one of the other episodes. Oh yeah, I think I know one of the biggest ones for me so far has been like recognizing your fears as another intimate form of shadow work. And
mm-hmm.
like ever since that episode, like I started like looking at my fears very close, writing them out, and not being afraid, but realizing that it's a point of change and transformation. So like
I
my
love that.
shadow work has changed a lot since then.
Nice. Wow.
Yeah, that's a
That's
big
a
one.
conclusion that we actually came up in during the episode. So
Literally
it's
like during the episode. So that's I guess the perfect way to answer that.
mm-hmm.
It's definitely been
Beautiful.
one that like has been the most consistent in this journey as well. Yeah, I like
Mm-hmm.
that one.
Amazing. Okay, now your question.
All right, let me see. So, dear Sylvia, as a co-host of Silver Blue, what has been the most rewarding aspect of sharing your spiritual journey and insights with the audience throughout season one?
I love it.
Good,
It's just surprisingly how ChatGPT comes with it, like
great questions.
great question.
Yeah, that's just crazy.
Okay, I think the whole thing has been pretty rewarding, just sharing my experiences and feel like we've been like growing from it, like both of us from each other, and hopefully also the listener.
Hmm.
And I think everything in general has been amazing. Yeah, it's difficult to think about a specific thing. Um, but I guess probably one of the most rewarding moments was sharing what I've learned about writing your own story and how to like change your life, your story, depending on, how you change the focus from one place to another, and you can completely change your life. And that's something I've recently learned, and I've been uh, experiencing and putting it into practice, and it was beautiful to share it and hopefully help more people through that, I think.
Mm, absolutely. I like that. And I want to ask you a question that derived from mine because I want your perspective too. But
Okay.
what was the most profound moment for you? Like the most profound realization that you had throughout this? Like,
I remember I have a really good memory of the inner child episode, and how I started like remembering. I started like really connecting with my inner child through that episode.
yeah,
It felt kind of like a session,
yeah, that was
therapy
beautiful.
session. So I enjoyed that one because it was like powerful. Yeah.
It was. I remember seeing it in your eyes, like watching you light up as if you were reliving certain things. That was beautiful. I love that.
Yeah. And what was your answer? You want to answer your question? What was the most rewarding part for you?
I think the most rewarding part for me is the fact that, you know, this was an idea that it was just born in that hammock and we were like, oh yeah, let's do it. Like, and then
Hmm.
here we are, you know, couple months later, we're already
10
finishing season
episodes.
one. Like, that's hard. I love that. So, like, the most rewarding thing is the fact that we are doing
Doing
it.
it.
Like, it
It's
was
true.
an idea and now, it became action and here we are. I
And
love
here we are. We've been recording every week since, and that's pretty impressive.
it. Yeah, we're staying consistent. That's beautiful. I love it.
Hmm.
That's the most rewarding part to me. And
Definitely.
everything to come.
Hmm. Okay. My next question is, can you share a specific moment or episode from the podcast that stands out to you as particularly transformative or memorable? What made it so impactful?
Okay, well, so I don't want to repeat, but like at the same time, I think the most impactful was talking about our fears and conversion to bravery. Like
Mm,
I didn't realize it. Well, that's not even true. I noticed it as soon as I wrote down my fears that very same like day or night, and I was just like, wow, like these are really thoughts that they come as a form of resistance when you're changing and evolving. And when you write them
mm,
out and look at the options, like even when you were saying like 90% of what you fear doesn't happen. And I wrote out what could happen versus what wouldn't happen versus if it did, how would I handle it? And it's
mm-hmm,
just completely transformed my like mindset and my outlook on life. So
mm-hmm.
that had to be probably the most transformational thing. Like everything coming into my life now, I just look at it with a different eye, like the eye of the tiger, bravery. Like
That's beautiful. Yeah, definitely that. I think that exercise of learning, so like thinking about your fear and then ask yourself like, so what would be the worst case scenario, right? Like if
yeah,
like all the bad things happen, what would be, what would that be like? And then ask yourself, and what would be the best thing that can happen, right? And then just be like, okay, is it worth the risk? I think that kind of that exercise is really powerful because it takes out the fear, because when you actually picture yourself in the worst case scenario, and then you're like, okay, what would I do in that case? And then you see there's, even in that case, there would be options. It's not the end of the world.
yeah,
And that's the worst case that can happen.
yeah, literally. And like, just to, like, I have a completely different view on what fear is. Like, at one point, you would think it's something negative or something you gotta ignore, but like, I started thinking it's something to celebrate. It's
Mm,
celebrating the changes happening in your life. looking at fear as something that gives you way more opportunity, and it doesn't
Mm-hmm.
paralyze you if you don't let it paralyze you. You
Yeah,
can really make it let you grow. Like, yeah,
definitely. What we said about fear is a result of stepping out of your comfort zone, right? And that means that you're evolving and that you're growing as a person. Every time you grow, there's fear. Yeah, that was also really, really powerful to understand
yeah,
because
it's a lot.
it's what you say. It makes you celebrate every time you have fear because, like, it's like, okay, I'm about to, evolve, learn something new, do something differently than I usually do.
Yeah, like even hearing what you just said, it makes you celebrate every time you fear something. Like,
Hmm.
like who like that's not normal. But making it a normal thing is lit. Like, ooh, I love it.
Definitely. Hmm.
All right, let's see. Let's see what I got for you.
Okay.
All right. The podcast has delved into various topics, including identity shifts, the power of the mind, and the integration of sexual energy. Which of these discussions resonated with you the most and why?
All of them. Like I can't choose.
So, what if you chose
Um,
between those three?
which three?
Identity shifts, the power of the mind, and the integration of sexual energy.
I mean, I think for me, identity shift is key, right? So, like, understanding that we don't do what we want, we do what we believe we are.
Yeah.
And if you don't believe you are capable of doing it or worthy, or if you don't believe you can do it, you're never gonna take action in that direction. So, like, to understand that, and you know understand that you first need to change yourself inside, and then the world is gonna change to make sure that who you are is real. That's powerful because it means that you have control over your life. You can create your life by changing yourself. And I think here we can introduce what you were saying the other day about the mirror um,
Oh yeah.
effect, or what is it
Yeah.
called? The
It's
mi-
I forget the word, but pretty much yeah, it's like, you know, the mirror will not smile at you until you smile at it.
Mhm.
So it's like I forget what the actual term is, but your reality is a mirror. Like what you look at and what you choose to, become, what you choose to act, what faces you make in the mirror is the same face the mirror is gonna make back at you.
Exactly.
You know?
So it's basically the same concept. You need to change yourself first so you can mirror that into your reality, right? So you can
Exactly.
see it as a mirror, or yeah, just understanding that the we have the power to change everything through working on ourselves, doing shadow work, understanding what things we need to work on, and then just taking responsibility of that and changing ourselves. Um,
Ooh,
that's very powerful, I think.
beautiful answer. I love it.
What would you say?
I would probably say the integration of sexual energy because it's a journey that I have like actively been experiencing for the past like 3 or 4 years, and like
Hmm.
and I also feel like it ties in with the others for me. Like it ties into identity shifting and the power of the mind. It
Hmm.
feels like it's like the like what is it? What is it to wrap the present up? The bow? I don't
I
know.
don't know.
I
Maybe
don't
I
even
don't know.
speak English anymore. But yeah, I think I remember like being in that episode and how easily the information just flowed out of me. I guess it's one that I'm most passionate about or most like active in. I don't know. But I guess I would say
Hmm.
that's the one that resonated with me the most.
Nice. Okay, I'll go with the next question. Question number 3.
Mhm.
Throughout the season, you've discussed topics such as spiritual growth, overcoming fear, and the power of manifestation. How have these discussions influenced your perspective on living a prosperous life in your 20s?
Okay, that's a good one. Can you read it one more time for me?
Sure. Throughout the season, you've discussed topics such as spiritual growth, overcoming fear, and the power of manifestation. How have these discussions influenced your perspective on living a prosperous life in your 20s?
Wow, that is a beautiful question, Chat
Thanks.
GBT.
Thanks, ChatGPT.
Well, honestly, it's been such a ever since these principles made their way into my life, divinely. Like, I began to seek this kind of information, but it like showed up to me on its own.
By the way, I don't know if we've mentioned this, but it was crazy how I don't know, I can't remember if we've mentioned this, but how I got a mentor and she was teaching me all these things, and then you got a mentor and he was teaching you exactly the
Mm,
same, and
exact,
from completely different backgrounds, completely different people from completely different countries.
literally,
How? And it came
literally,
to us at the same time from two different people.
literally
That's so
the same
crazy.
exact time.
Like,
And then if you really tie it back, we were in Medellin at the same exact time.
mm,
Didn't even know that we were there and met in Santa Marta like what, 2 weeks later?
mm-hmm.
Like, yo. So yeah, I think just moments like that, and I think it all ties back to manifestation and whew,
Yeah,
the
yeah, it's great.
topics.
Like
Like, yeah,
it's crazy because I remember I I think I was already connected in line with something when
yeah,
I was going to Santa Marta, because I remember this specific moment. So I got into a night bus. I put on my, what do you call it, antifaz, so like your eye mask or something,
hmm,
my eye mask, and I was like sleeping the whole time, and 1 second I decided to like, no, so I wake up for like, and I started drinking water, and I look through the window. That was the only moment I looked through the window in the whole night, and I see we're in a village, and in front of me there's like a sign that says 44,
oh
like in
yeah,
front of me. And then I see it, and then the bus starts like moving again. I remember I wanted to take a picture or something because I couldn't believe it. And
uh,
then the bus started like moving, and I'm like, oh my gosh. Because for me, 44, 440, these numbers are like
yeah.
kind of like, is, they're telling me
That
I'm
angel
going,
number for you,
I'm going in the right track. So it was like, okay. And then,
yeah. And then we met not
mm-hmm,
too long after. Yeah, like I guess to answer the question, like this has completely changed my life at an early age. I am in my early 20s, and it's now, this grouping of practices is something I know I'm going to carry throughout the rest of my life. Now that I know
mm,
how to manifest, now that I know that, with the open hand policy of, the law of attraction and all of these things that I practice, I know they work now, and I'm young. So I still got a lot more to experience and use that energy for. So like the way it's affected me is like knowing I'm powerful at this state and at this point in time. Holy shit, the way that I'm gonna be a couple years from now, like, sometimes I get stressed, but then I remember what I've learned so far, and it just like nothing to worry about. I feel like. So
mm-hmm.
yeah, I guess that's how I'd answer the question. And that's beautiful what you shared. Like I love the fact too that like through living this lifestyle, we were able to cross paths and grow together. Like it's so cool to me. So
And
yeah,
it's what you said. like we just learned this not that long ago. It was
Exactly.
a few months ago.
Yeah.
So like it's like I'm excited to see everything that's going to happen from here because so much has changed already. It's crazy.
Literally. Literally. Oh my gosh. That was a great question. I like that. All right. You ready for your next
Mhm.
question?
Indeed.
Okay. All right. In your experience, how has the process of writing your own story and embracing your authenticity contributed to your sense of purpose and fulfillment in life?
Oh my gosh. I mean, I think we were talking about it a bit earlier. Um Writing my own story is being crucial. So like this idea of you having the power to decide your own story, and you through your attention, through where you put your focus, you can, is the, I love this idea of whatever you pay attention, whatever you focus on expands, and whatever you take out the attention disappears. So like we create our reality through our attention. That's so powerful. And so I forgot the question already, but but I just feel like I just get, I get passionate about this concept. But I think, yeah, so basically I think writing your own story is very related to this, where you put your attention, right? And I think that's something that has completely changed me, and influenced the way I live. And that thing, the question was something like that, right? What was the exact question?
Yeah, let me read it back to you real quick. All right. So, in your experience, how has the process of writing your own story and embracing your authenticity contributed to your sense of purpose and fulfillment in life?
Yeah. So I feel like writing my own story made me realize that I can I can create my reality. So wherever I want to create in my reality is possible, and that made me connect even more with my purpose and understand. I think one of the reasons, wow, this is interesting.
Yeah.
I think one of the reasons I didn't want, or it took me a bit of time to find out my purpose. It was because I was afraid I was not gonna be able to make it real, to make it possible.
Mm,
And once I realized I do have the power to do it, first, I can do it, I'm enough, and I'm worthy of that life, and I can create that life through my reality. Then I was able to embrace that purpose and actually start believing it more, and don't not being afraid of me falling or something.
yeah.
I mean, and then I understand, I don't know, it was a whole process, but then I understand that the purpose is not something that you'll figure that, that you'll do at some point of your life. Your purpose is something that you do every day. It's
That's a,
something that you live every day.
whew,
So, yeah.
that is so beautiful, and I feel you on that. Like, wow. It's brought me so much fulfillment. Like, it's fun. As a child, I used to love writing stories and fantasies and stuff, and like being able to do that with your own life and actually watch the pages turn.
Hmm.
Like watch yourself become the character you're writing yourself to be, and watch these scenarios unfold right in front of you is like
Hmm.
amazing. Choosing to live certain experiences and knowing that you deserve them is like just it's such a magical thing, right? Literally writing your own story is so
Hmm.
magical. Oof, that's a nice one.
Definitely. Okay, I'll
What
go
you
with the
got?
fourth question. One of the recurring themes of SilverBlu, the importance of self discovery and inner work. How have how have you personally approached shadow work and inner child healing, and what insights have you gained from these processes?
Wow. Okay, Chat GBT. Nice. So my personal experiences with inner child working and shadow work. Huh?
Mm-hmm.
So I guess I'll first start with the inner child process for me, since it's the first thing that like comes to mind.
Mm-hmm.
But I remember sitting down literally and having a conversation with my inner self. You know, I was sitting over the balcony just overlooking the sea, very quiet and peaceful. And I really took a close look at the things I felt like my inner child was being neglected on. Like I felt like I had a lack of creativity at a moment that if I were still a kid, I would have been expressing regardless of whatever circumstances.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it didn't matter where I was, how hard life was, or how hard life looked, or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Every day I was creating something. And I had asked myself, like, what changed? What happened? And the inner child in me felt like something was wrong. You know, like, I wasn't I wasn't as motivated or happy to be making content or whatever it was that I loved to do. So it took talking to my inner child to pull that back up to the surface and realize that there were dreams I've had that I put to sleep. Like
Mm-hmm.
dreams I had that I wasn't living anymore with ease, and I had to figure out why. Uh, so I had a long, deep talk with my inner child as if it were a separate entity, as if I were the adult talking to the child.
Mm-hmm.
And that was when I went through that process and realized how powerful it was. Um, and afterwards, I began to live a whole new prosperous life. I started to automatically connect with my inner child, listen to things that I would have wanted to do as a kid and now have the actual ability to do as an adult, and finding a balance between the two. And it made for a beautiful, beautiful life. Um, Started dancing again like I used to love to do, started making videos, started doing everything I used to love, and it made life so much more fun
Mm-hmm.
and magical for me. Um, shadow work, shadow work is a whole nother deal. It, it was almost the same thing, but you have a question?
No, I was
Or,
gonna say like you shared a bit in the episode, right?
yeah,
Uh, but yeah, maybe you can go through like one of the most important things that you learned, or
yeah. Um, yeah, shadow work was just, it was kind of the same thing. It was like facing another entity that lives within and being able to really look at what makes it so apparent, so real, and so present.
hmm.
And yeah, it's all been about finding a balance between me and the inner selves, I guess, without sounding too crazy.
Love it.
The
Okay,
Shurski.
beautiful.
Okay,
Yeah.
let's see what we got for you.
But it's beautiful what you said about how connecting with your inner child, you were able to like start, like let go of that block that you have, that creative block, and start like, creating again, dancing again, all these things that you enjoyed that doing, but you were not doing because
Yeah,
there was something that you needed to heal with your inner child.
that's the main thing, is that it was healing both times. It was a huge healing process that needed to be had
Mm-hmm.
in transitioning from a child to an adult, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Walking into spirituality. So yeah. All right. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Fear and bravery have been explored as integral components of personal growth. Can you share a personal experience where you've confronted fear and how it has ultimately propelled you forward on your spiritual path.
Ooh. Sure. There was actually one that I think I didn't mention in the episode that I was like, that's another one that was powerful.
Okay.
And this is the fear I had before when I was thinking about walking the Camino de Santiago alone.
Mm-hmm.
So like I had this idea of like some people I had like a really good friend from from college and like some a friend of mine who both have said like you should walk Camino de Santiago, which is like a hike in the north of Spain. I think we've mentioned that
Mm-hmm.
alone, just your own rhythm and then so I thought about it and I decided I was gonna do it. But of course, I remembering taking the bus to the Pyrenees, where in the south of France, where the hike starts, or that's one of the most important places where people start. And when I was in that bus, I was scared. I was like, "What am I doing?" I'm going somewhere in the mountains to start this hike alone. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know if I'm ready. I don't know if I'm prepared for this, for walking every day, carrying all my backpack with me, all the weight and everything. I'm not used to walking. Like, what am I doing? And like, I didn't even know for how long I was gonna walk, if I was gonna do the whole thing, or um but I I did it. So I started it, and like the first day I was walking, I was completely alone, and that's what it was. Actually a pretty tough day, because you walk the Pyrenees, and that's a pretty tough thing to do. And yeah, I just remembering like feeling so I don't know, the feeling after, like the feeling once I got to the place, and I realized I was, I was alive and I was safe, and my body hurt, of course, from walking that much. But then, after a whole day walking, I met some people in the place where I was staying. It was actually in a monastery. It was pretty crazy. And so I met some people there, and then it started being so much fun. And I walked from that moment, I walked. Maybe there were some days that I was walking alone, but I met many people, and I was walking with some people, and then some other days with some other people. And of course, there were challenges. Of course, there were moments when I was like not sure if I could keep walking because it was actually hurting. But I kept going, and I started getting stronger, both physically and mentally, and it just felt so good to like first every day feel like you had a mission. Every day feel like you knew what you had to do. You just had to walk, and, and like it was tough, but you at least you knew what you had to do. It was clear, I think. And every day, I don't know, I felt so happy and connected, and it was challenging, but it didn't, it felt like it felt fulfilling. It felt way more fulfilling than being at home without doing anything, because yes, there were challenges, but I think that feeling of knowing where you wanted to go and feeling like every day you were making progress is what made it like amazing. And that feeling of knowing that it was something that you were super scared about, and you were doing it, and learning so much through the process, and yeah, letting go of that fear. So I think that was a powerful experience. And actually, I think I actually believe that Camino de Santiago heals you. So, like, I just, it gives me peace knowing that if I ever get depressed or, sad about something, I can go and walk that Camino. And I recommend it to anybody who, like, ever feels or who's going through a tough moment in their life, like that camino really heals you.
That is so beautiful, yo. Every time you tell this, like, I really admire your bravery and just, I don't know, like, everything about that story is so amazing to me and so beautiful. I love to hear that. Wow, I don't have words,
Hmm.
but I love that story so much.
That was
I remember
an
the first time
adventure.
you told me, I was just like, damn. Oh, yeah,
you
that's a
you
good one.
you realize that you're way stronger than you think, and if you're
Yeah,
not, you'll get stronger on the way. You're just,
yeah, yeah.
you just through tough moments is where is when you get stronger, and it's just crazy what your body and your mind is able to do when you have to do it.
Absolutely. Like, I feel like I got a small taste of that. Small taste of it on the Camino de... No, no, no. My bad. Calabazo
Ah.
to Tayrona. A
Hmm.
small taste of it, you know? And we were walking it together, so I know it was different. But, like, I did start to feel things that were just... I was just like civilization, time, this reality, like everything was coming to my mind. I was
Yeah,
thinking
these
about,
are 2 days that we spent in Parque de Tayrona in the north of
yeah,
Colombia, and we walked
yeah,
a lot.
a lot,
I
yo.
remember you saying, what did you say? I don't think I've walked that much in my entire life.
I was like, I've never walked this much. Not in my entire life have I walked this much. Like, but it was so beautiful. Like, you know, there were moments where you get a little tired, or going up was like,
Yeah.
but I would also come into these flow state moments of just
Hmm.
movement. And it was just, like I said, like flow state. Like it just felt, I don't know. Um, but yeah, I remember hugging the trees and like feeling all the knowledge of the earth and all of that shit. So it was, I guess, a beta version of it. But I definitely got to try that one day.
Definitely. Oof. So it's my turn. I think I just lost
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's your turn.
the sense of time. And
You did that. Hey, that was great. That was a great, great answer.
okay, so I think this is my last question to you.
Yeah, I think the next is
Yeah, right.
last.
Okay, so looking ahead to future seasons, what are some themes or topics you hope to explore farther on the podcast, and how do you envision SilverBlu continuing to evolve as a platform for personal growth and empowerment?
Oh, felt that one. That's crazy that ChatGPT came up with all these. Are so
We should
fire.
we should have said that we came up with this question.
I was about to say, uh,
Like, yeah, that was my idea.
yeah, that was my idea. Yeah, we think like this. This is the level that we're at. Wow. So yeah, we actually have many topics kind of written down, um, just from our first brainstorm. But like, I feel like we kind of improvise as we go in a sense. Like we know what to talk about, and then it sometimes comes down to what we're experiencing in the moment.
Mhm.
But I want to talk about different ways to, you know, in the next season, just like one of our topics, manifesting through art. I feel like that is super powerful, and I want to be able to teach people how to do that, honestly. So you can go from like hearing personal development to actually learning how to
That's
manifest your life through art.
powerful. That's so powerful, and I can't wait to hear more about that.
Absolutely. It's so transformational. I've been doing it for about a year now, and
Hmm.
wow, is it amazing. And when I say art, I mean through the art of music, through the art of drawing, writing, You can manifest so many things with what you use your energy and what your hands like or voice. Oh, so I
Mm-hmm.
want to talk about stuff like that. I want to talk about sound healing and frequencies and dive deeper into the dream realm and like what you're able to make happen by bridging your dreams to reality and
Mm-hmm.
finding a middle ground.
Definitely.
Yeah, overall, I just can't. I'm excited to share this knowledge with this community and watch people grow. And I'm excited to hear them confess. Hear you guys talk about your realizations and what you've experienced and what has changed your life. Like that is
That would
what I'm
be
most
so cool.
excited for.
Yeah, I would love to start hearing from you guys and like your experiences. And I was gonna ask, if you guys have some topics you would like us to like cover in the next season. Let
Yeah,
us know. You can let us know actually in the comments on Spotify or through our Instagrams or, well, I don't know, just somehow. On
definitely.
YouTube, if you're listening from YouTube, let us know what would be interesting for you.
Absolutely. Seek and you shall find. And we will find your questions and give you answers. Yeah.
If we know, we'll say, and if we don't know, we'll learn about it and tell you, or we'll
With you. Yeah.
with you, or like maybe even invite some experts or something. It would be cool to start inviting
I
people.
was gonna say that too. I was just gonna say that, like having some special guests on here, or
Hmm.
maybe like invite a listener on board and see what experience one of you guys have, and we just all have a cool conversation. Like that's the kind of stuff I want to see in seasons to come.
Mm-hmm. That
Maybe
would be
even
cool.
like I don't know, giveaways at some point. Like I see it growing very
That
massively.
was the second part of the question. So
Yeah.
it was like, how do you envision SilverBlu continuing to evolve as a platform for personal growth and empowerment?
Uh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So like I feel like we're gonna have books that we're able to sell, and with so much knowledge, I feel like we're gonna be able to uh, enroll you guys into some programs that we create
Hmm.
that really transform
To
your life.
actually integrate and help you guys with all this process, because we give the
Absolutely,
knowledge here, but having, for I don't know, I think for both of us, having a mentor who like guide us through the process and who are there with us, I think that's been super powerful, and I think it's gonna be so cool when we
absolutely.
launch the program.
Yes, yes, the SilverBlu program. Oh my,
Yeah.
woo! I'm excited for that. I'm excited for that. Yeah, I see it becoming a very vast community where we all come together and we make big, positive, powerful changes in our lives together.
Mm-hmm.
And we all get to eat from that and share
Mm-hmm.
with other loved ones. And yeah, that's pretty much the overall vision. Like, I feel like there's so much more I could go into as well. But,
Definitely. YouTube videos with some of
oh,
the
yeah,
main ideas. There's so
yeah,
many things we want to do, but
so many
step by step, baby steps.
baby steps. And, we got to leave some, what's the word? Some foreshadowing so you guys can feel it when it comes. Like, it's
Mm-hmm.
going to be lit. Save some surprises.
But no, I don't know. At some point during this episode, I was like, imagine how it's gonna be once the podcast evolve and like it gets like more professional and everything, to like go back and see these videos of us.
Yeah, that's crazy. I just jumped into like a future studio that we
Yeah,
have with the whole setup and like a special guest. And like, all right, today we're giving away this and this and this. We got our program that we're gonna give away to three special. Like, I just, I was there for a second.
right. Me too. I was there, and I was like,
Ah!
I just feel like at some point, uh, I feel like at some point in that moment, we're gonna like go back to a short, to like a short part of this episode or something, and be like, look at us.
Yeah, like, oh my, like that YouTube channel I just did. Like, this was my video two
Exactly.
years
That
ago.
was
Like,
when we started. And
yeah. And we manifested our way to this here by using
exactly as a
key
proof
principles.
that it works.
That is so fly. Like, I love that. That's
Thank
dope. All right, let's see what we got for you on this final question here,
Okay.
darling. All right. As SilverBlu continues to grow and expand its community, what message do you hope to convey to listeners who are embarking on their own journey of self discovery and transformation?
Wow.
That's a good one.
I feel like I feel like the main message is that you're in control of your life, of your reality. Um, that whatever you're going through, you can change it. Whatever you like, you can keep. Whatever you don't want, you can change it and keep evolving. And I feel like this mindset, I love this mindset of, fear helps you evolve, and the challenges that you're facing or the challenges that you faced in the past are hidden gifts or lessons that you had to learn, and which made you be the person who you are, which made you become the person who's going to create that reality that you want to create. So just realizing that everything in life, you can see it as an obstacle, as something that is like preventing you from getting where you want to get, or you can do it as something that is helping you get there, and see everything as an opportunity instead of seeing it as something horrible that happened to you, right? So this change from victim to hero of your own life that we were talking in one of the first episodes. So I think that message, and that, I guess, that hope that you need when things are going um but wrong in your life, the hope of like another life is possible, and actually help anybody listening, and anybody who starts listening understand how to do that in their own life. I feel that's super powerful, and I can't wait to like inspire more people and get more people, into this journey, and realize that it's true. It's just up to whatever you want to believe. So it's up to you to decide your own life. I think that's super, super powerful.
Wow, yo. Beautifully, beautifully, beautifully executed statement. Oh,
Hmm.
man.
And I think this ties up with the message that ChatGPT has for the listeners of SilverBlu.
A little word from our fellow chat GBT to the lovely members of SilverBlu. Are you guys ready?
Mm-hmm.
Hey there, spiritual adventurers. So you found yourself diving deep into the cosmic sea of SilverBlu, huh? Well, buckle up, because this journey's about to get even more enlightening and maybe a little bit goofy. I'm gonna say definitely a bit more fucking goofy, but pretty great. First off, big ups for taking the time to explore the cosmic playground of your own mind. You're like spiritual astronauts, boldly going where your intention guides you, all from the comfort of your own headphones. Now, let's talk about those aha moments. You know, those times when you're listening to an episode and suddenly it feels like a light bulb just went off in your brain? Yeah, those moments. Cherish them. They're like little nuggets of wisdom wrapped in a cosmic hug.
Oh my god.
And hey, let's not forget about the occasional cosmic belly laugh. Life's too short to take too seriously, right?
I love this part.
So, if you find yourself giggling at the absurdity of existence or the cosmic joke we call reality, you're doing it right. As you continue to ride the waves of insight and hilarity that SilverBlu serves up, remember this. You're not just a listener, you're a co creator of this cosmic experience. So keep shining your light, keep exploring those deep existential questions, and above all, keep your wonderfully weird, beautifully unique self. Thanks for tuning in, you cosmic rock stars, with laughter and light, ChatGPT.
That's great. Like, I have no words. Like, we asked
That is
ChatGPT if he, or it, for me it's a he, if it wanted to say anything to our listeners. And he wrote that beautiful, deep message for you guys.
that is fire. Cosmic rock stars. Actually, I love
I
that for
like
our
it.
community name.
Yeah, let's keep that. Cosmic rock
Cosmic rock
stars.
stars. I fuck with that. That's hard. I love that.
I love that. Okay, guys, you already have a name. Cosmic Rockstar sounds like what you guys are.
What you are, cosmic rock stars. It's lovely to have you guys on this journey. Thank you, lovely Sylvia, for making your way into my life and for helping to transform me
Thank
as well as this
you.
lovely community.
It was, as
Ooh,
always, a pleasure to be here, and I'm so excited about everything that is to come in next season.
absolutely. Cosmic rock stars signing out. We love you guys and
Yes.
hope to see you in the next season.